My name is Leslie Nance. You're watching the Cancer Coach Talks. Thank you guys for being so patient with me through our technical difficulties this evening. I come here on Tuesday nights teaching you how to make your body an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. I am a certified holistic nutritionist. I'm a certified holistic cancer coach. So all those fancy letters are after my name. I'm also a 7-year cancer survivor. I should put that in there. 7, CS. 7-year cancer survivor. And I work with my clients one-on-one to help them personalize a holistic treatment that is a complement to their medical treatments to achieve wholeness in the body, to achieve healing, and to achieve a good outcome from their treatment paths. If you guys are having a hard time hearing, please just pop out and pop back in. And of course, you can't hear me if I say that. But yeah, so try that and see if that works for you. So every Tuesday night I come here at 6 p.m. Central Time to talk to you about a particular subject, mostly mindset subjects, and tonight is no different than most nights. I don't talk a lot about nutrition. I know a lot of you request that I come here and talk about nutrition. I don't do that because I don't believe in Band-Aids. And if I'm here giving you specific nutrition information, I'm providing you with a Band-Aid for cancer, and I am not into that. And I know that there are a lot of people out there talking about specifics for nutrition for cancer. And what I know is that is not an effective way to go about helping you achieve total health. And so it's not just about nutrition. It's not just about mindset even. It's about a combination of holistic practices to help you achieve a goal of not ever having cancer again, and maybe not having cancer if you have active cancer right now. So I do not hand out Band-Aids. So if you are looking for a Band-Aid, if you're looking for somebody to give you some specific advice about nutrition or specific advice about mindset on a Facebook Live like this, you're in the wrong place. But if you're here to learn and grow and to think differently about your cancer, then you're in the right place, right? So, all right, I just do not believe that there's a one-size-fits-all, and putting a Band-Aid on cancer makes no sense to me. You went into a doctor and he said, "Oh, you have cancer? Oh, and it's in your thyroid. Let's put a Band-Aid on that, and it'll be all better." That's what handing out advice about nutrition, specific nutrition information would be like, and I do not agree with that. For every person that has cancer, there's a different kind of cancer, and I believe in working with people personally to achieve what healing means in their life. Okay, so said all that, let's get down to business. I want to talk about something that I dealt with personally in my own life, and that is the thought process that our doctors are out to kill us, or that the big that big farm out there in the West is trying to kill you. That big pharma is trying to kill you, or that our government knows that this is dangerous for us and they keep on doing it anyway. I want to talk about that specifically tonight because this is a mindset that is not I'm sorry, Gazette. Sorry. But this is a mindset that is not helpful to anyone, and certainly not going to contribute to your healing, but indeed it can keep you sick, okay? So the first thing I want to say about that is that I know that there are conspiracy theories that are correct, that somebody had a theory about something and then it was proven later to be correct, that they had, that there was an act performed against public that was not beneficial to the public, or beneficial to the nation, or beneficial to a group of people. I understand that these things exist. What I'm talking about is when you let it stop you in your healing. And I am a great example of this, right? I'm a great example of this. And so here's just some examples of some conspiracy theories around health that are out there. That our health organizations know that cell phones are dangerous, but they don't talk to us about those dangers because they're protecting the telecommunications business. that there is a cure. This is the big one that everybody likes to talk about when they talk to me, is that there's a cure for cancer that exists, but they won't share that because they're protecting a $1 trillion industry. In other words, people's lives are not as important as the money that they're gaining from them, okay? And so another one is that chemo is designed to keep you sick. It's designed to keep you alive, but it's designed to keep you sick so that you keep needing it. In other words, it's not healing anything in your body. And I can tell you, if you're giving any of this your energy, if you're subscribing to any of these mindsets, whether they're true or not, this is not about them being true or not. This is about where you're placing your energy, then you have some massive problems in healing. Number one, you're giving away way too much of your control. Think about what I'm just saying. If you are falling into the trap of thinking that somebody's out to get you, you're giving away too much of your control in this situation. Number two, if you're doing this, your cancer's bossing you around. You're not bossing it around. It's bossing you around. Because it's keeping you in jail. It's keeping you in jail of fear. It's keeping you in the jail of anger. It's keeping you in the jail of frustration that you cannot fix the problem because somebody else is, the enemy is trying to get you. Number three, you've lost control of the situation. You've fully lost control of the situation if you are letting these conspiracy theories, again, whether they're true or not, take a hold of you and you're living in them. Distrust, anger, hopelessness, all of those things live in that mindset that somebody, something bigger is happening that you can't control. Number four, you have not built a dream team of doctors. One of my 5 shifts, one of my 5 ways to become a cancer boss that my clients know is that you build a dream team of doctors. If you are living in this conspiracy mindset, you have mistrust in your doctors and mistrust in the system, and therefore you have not built the dream team that is there to help you. Whether it's holistic practitioners, whether it's medical practitioners, whether you have sought alternative, help, whatever it is. And number 5, you're spending too much time on Dr. Google. You are spending way too much time letting other people dictate what is true for you. So let's take the biggie, for example. Let's take the biggie. They know the cure for cancer, but they're not giving it to us because they're protecting it. They're protecting, investments. They're protecting a $1 trillion industry. So therefore, they're going to let hundreds of thousands of people die every year. Some people say population control. Because but they know the cure for cancer. This is a ridiculous notion that keeps you in jail. If they had a cure for cancer, it would be what comes after $1 trillion? I don't even know what comes after a $gazillion industry. Because half the population is diagnosed with cancer at this point. And if they had a cure for it, wouldn't you pay anything to get it? You'd pay anything to get it. It'd be much more beneficial to cure it than it would be to keep you sick. Whether it's true or not, if you're subscribing to this conspiracy, if you're living in hopelessness, if you're living in self-doubt, you are in jail and you cannot heal. And you won't heal. I just read a story in a book called You're the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I just read a story where he was talking about this man that had lived in the part of this country where voodoo was very much alive and well. And he was supposedly he was tricked by this, whoever the voodoo people are. He was master, I don't know what they're called. Anyway, this voodoo guy, he was tricked into meeting him in a graveyard, and supposedly this voodoo guy put a curse on him, and gave him some voodoo, and told him that he was gonna, because of this curse, he was gonna die very soon. And so all of a sudden he started having massive health troubles, and he wouldn't eat, and he wouldn't, he wasn't sleeping. He was basically, he'd lost like 60 pounds in a very short period of time. And so finally he was wasting away. And so finally his wife, this is very abbreviated part of the story, by the way. So his wife took him to the doctor. The doctors did all these tests and they couldn't find anything wrong with him. And so his wife took the doctor aside and said, here's what I think is going on. He thinks he's cursed. And because of this mindset, because he thinks because he's so hopeless, because he feels like he's been cursed, then, and I think this is what's happening. And he's like, okay. The doctor, knowing that voodoo was a part of the culture that he was serving, he did something very unorthodox, and he told the man this whole story about that he spoke to the man that put the curse on him, and the man told him what kind of, he talked him into telling him what kind of curse it was, and the curse was that he put these lizards in his belly that were eating him from the inside out, and that most of the lizards had died, but there was one that was still living and growing, and that's why he was so sick, and that's why he was dying. And so he said, I'm going to give you an injection that is going to help kill that lizard. And so he injected him with saline only, and he injected him with saline. They went through this big process of like injection, and in the saline, he had some medication that would make him vomit. And so so it wasn't only saline, I misspoke, I'm sorry, but he injected him with this medication, and the man was violently ill. And one of the episodes, the doctor was in there when he was throwing up, and when the man wasn't looking, he slipped this black lizard into the tray that he was vomiting in, that he was heaving into, and he was like, there it is, there's the lizard. And within hours, the man was eating again, he was sleeping, he thought the curse was gone, and therefore he was cured. And conspiracies are much like this. We get into this mindset, this hopeless mindset that we're all doomed, that we're doomed. I had somebody say to me on the phone today, going into the grocery store is like a death trap. It's a death trap in there. Oh my God, that mindset is so deadly. We've been so scared into thinking that, everything is going to kill us. Guess what's happening? And so in my own life and in my own story, not in my health. I didn't have this with my health, but I had this with our country, with news. I was addicted to the 24-hour news cycle. If you've listened to me before, you've heard me talk about this before. But I was fully addicted to the 24-hour news cycle, and I would listen to the news. And I'm sorry I'm talking fast, but I have a lot to say tonight, so I'm talking, and it gets me really riled up too. If you can sense that, I'm like, I get really riled up about this stuff. And so, but the 24-hour news cycle, I was fully addicted to it. And I had, oh my gosh, conspiracy theories out to the wazoo. Not the crazy ones, but just this sense of hopelessness, this sense of helplessness that that nothing could be controlled, and that we were all doomed because of the mismanagement of the way things were going. And I'm not talking about political, I'm just talking about the direction, and not having any control, and feeling like everybody was out to screw me, whether it was financially or mentally or physically or whatever, that they were out to get me. And I lived under this umbrella, and it made me very cynical. And I was in jail. I was in jail by it. It put me in jail. Not physically, I didn't go to jail. I mean, in emotional jail. And I truly believe that some of that stress that I incurred from that contributed to my cancer diagnosis. And so just a little insight on why we do this, because I think that the psychology of this is really important to understand. I think it's really important to understand why we put ourselves through this, why we subscribe to these theories or these ideas. I just had somebody email me a few days ago with a meme, and they were like, "Is this true?" It had to do with organic foods. She wouldn't mind if I shared that. She was like, "Is this true?" And I'm like, "It's a meme. You can't get your health advice from a meme. You gotta go." But it's this whole thought that everybody's out to get us. They're out to get our money. They're out to get our health. This is a dangerous, slippery slope to be in. And so here's some reasons why we do this. Here's some reasons why we subscribe to this kind of mindset and this kind of idea. And I'm going to read some of these just because I wrote down some very particular notes and I want to make sure that I share them with you here. But the persuasiveness of conspiracy theories serves as an important psychological function when we are dealing with a large stressful event. And the reason for that is because we need to blame the being out of control or the being fearful on something else besides us. And so a conspiracy theory is thinking your doctor's trying to kill you with chemo, or thinking that the medical community is out to kill you, right? That is a very convenient thing to think. And I will tell you, there are a lot of people making a lot of money on your fear. I won't name names. But when I just said that, you went. There are a lot of people making a lot of money feeding that fire. Be careful. Be careful who you listen to. Right? So we need to blame the out of control feeling or the fear that we have on something else, especially when we're in a highly stressed situation. It's easier to say, "Oh, it's probably that poison food that I was eating that caused my cancer." That's much better than saying, "I had a problem with my emotions that led to, a malfunction in my immune system, which left the door open for cancer." And a lot of times the evidence and these theories are cherry-picked. They're cherry-picked evidence that support a case. I guarantee you that you can go out there and you can be convinced one way or the other of whatever side you're leaning to. So let's go back to let's go back to the big one, that they know a cure for cancer, right? And they're not sharing it with us. Let's use that one, because that's the biggie that most people struggle with, because they're afraid. They're frustrated by having cancer, and therefore they need something that makes them feel better about the situation. So they probably know how to cure me, but they don't. Instead of saying, "Dang, I really haven't been monitoring, my mindfulness. I really haven't been paying attention to how I'm treating my vessel. I really haven't been paying attention to what I'm putting in my mouth or in my brain. I left the door open." Do you see where the shift is, where you are out of control and you have no control of the situation, and where you take responsibility and you have some control? This is what I'm talking about. You're letting it raw, even if it's true that they have a cure for cancer, they're not sharing it with you. Okay, you don't have access to that. So what else are you going to do? How else are you going to fix the problem? But we get hung up over here in the fact and being all mad about the fact that they're not sharing their cure for cancer with us. But even with the cherry-picked evidence that a conspiracy theory gives us, we can think of it at that point as an enemy. And if we have an enemy, we have something to fight against instead of dealing with the real problem. Now then, let me be crystal clear. I'm not saying that you have caused your cancer. I'm saying that it's most likely you left the door open to it, okay? And by the way, what's wrong with admitting that you may have left the door open or that you may have caused your cancer? Because if you did something that caused it, then it's most likely you can do something to uncause it. Isn't that much better than thinking about it as a luck of the draw or my genetics, by which we know now with epigenetics that it's less likely for it to be genetic than just about anything else. It's more likely to be your environment than it is to be genetics, quite honestly. So when you're in pain or you're in a crisis and you're operating out of fear because of cancer, you want something to blame. Blame your food, blame your diet, blame your crappy relationship with your dad, blame the people that know the cure that's not giving it to you, blame the people that are giving us chemo because they're trying to keep us alive but keep us sick. Blame everything else except for what's really going on, which is an alignment in a belief system that you can heal, that you can change. And it's hard to do that when you're under the umbrella that, and by the way, while I'm on this topic, there are a lot of people out there that are cancer treatment shaming other people. And I want to tell you right now, if you're in my group and you're doing that, you're going to get kicked out. It is not for you to say what is right for someone else. Even me as a cancer coach, I do not ever tell people this is what you should do. I help them make decisions about what they should do. It is never for you to judge what somebody else chooses in their treatment path. And shame on you if you do. You're not protecting them. You're not serving them with your knowledge of your story, of your meme that you read, or your theory that somebody has scared you into. That person just needs your love and support, no matter what they've chosen for their treatment path. And if you're harboring anger by somebody's death because you think that chemo killed them or you think that the doctors killed them, it's going to make it really hard for you to heal. So many cancers are linked to anger and grief and the negative emotions that we feel. Fear, frustration, hopelessness. So many times people that I'm working with are dealing with those emotions. So when you're in pain, you're in crisis, you're operating out of fear, you want something to blame. It's okay. It's okay, but just know that you're out of control. You're letting it rob you of your power to heal. It is stealing it from you. So I'm going to ask you to make an important shift and an important distinction tonight in this live video. I'm going to ask you, and I know that this does not make me popular. I know a lot of you are sitting like this right now. And you're watching going, well, I used to like her, but I'm not so sure anymore. What about all those people that are saying, that chemo kills and that radiation kills? Well, okay, so maybe there is some truth into that theory, but how you're utilizing it up here in your personal life is where all the difference is coming from. How you're choosing to process that information, right? That's where the difference is. Are you letting it rob you of your happiness? Are you letting it rob you of your hope? Are you letting it rob you of your healing? Is it worth it? So I'm going to ask you to make some shifts tonight. This is a mindset. We're going to shift out of conspiracy, out of control, out of fear. We're going to move towards healing. And these are some simple shifts that you can use to do that. Number one, become the boss of your cancer. I never once for a second thought that my radiation was going to kill me. I saw it as an ally. I did not see it as an enemy. And when you start to change your relationships with what is happening to you, then it's easy to boss cancer around as opposed to being bossed around by cancer. And if you're having a hard time doing that, I'm your girl, by the way. Focus on what you want to happen and not what you don't want to happen. When you spend time focusing on what you want to happen in your cancer journey, chemo is going to help me, surgery is going to help me, it is not going to kill me, it is going to help me get rid of cancer, I'm going to align my diet and my mindset to this healing. You want a silver bullet? Very holistic with medical. Use those two practices. Use the wisdoms of them both. Wherever you focus your attention, your energy will flow. You will create more of. That includes love, that includes joy, that includes money, it includes health, it includes not having cancer anymore, but it also includes fear, it also includes hopelessness, it also includes anger. So if you're focusing on all the things that really tick you off, they have a cure for cancer, but they're not sharing it with us, is a good example. That makes me mad to think about that. And if I'm focusing my energy there and I'm spending all my time on Facebook looking for something to support that evidence somehow, some way, I am feeding that with my attention. Therefore, I'm creating more of it. That is going to keep you sick. That is not going to get you well. Take some responsibility for your healing. For heaven's sakes, please, please, please stop the blame game. Take some responsibility. I take full responsibility that my diet was not very good. I take full responsibility that I was not eating enough vegetables. I take full responsibility that I was not in a healthy mindset, that I was angry a lot, that I was frustrated a lot. I take full responsibility that there was even some personal physical abuse to my body and the way that I treated it when I was younger. I left the door open to cancer. It's okay. When you take that responsibility and you understand that, the opportunity for healing goes like this. It goes from here to here. If you were driving a car down the freeway and you weren't wearing your seatbelt and you got into an accident and you flew out of the car, you wouldn't go, stupid car, didn't keep me in it. You would think, crap, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. Probably could have avoided a lot of heartache had I been wearing my seatbelt. Right? Number 4, learn to trust. Learn to trust. Something you need to learn to trust that is very important is your gut and your instincts. My instincts were telling me, Leslie, don't do chemo. Don't do chemo, don't do chemo, don't do chemo. That might make you think that I'm anti-chemo. I'm not. I'm anti-chemo for my situation. Chemo wasn't going to help me much. It wasn't going to help me make my body inhospitable because of the type of cancer that I had. It was a shot in the dark, and even my doctor said this is a shot in the dark. So I said no. I trusted my gut instinct. It was a hard decision. It took me months to make that decision, but I trusted my gut. I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I did. I also trusted my gut that I needed the tumor out of my body. I knew that I couldn't live happily and in full, yes, this is what's supposed to happen. I couldn't live with that if I had left the tumor in my body. So I had to trust my instincts and knowing that, all the research that I had read that said if you cut into the tumor, then you could spread cancer cells and it could end up somewhere else in your body. So leave the tumor in. And I read all that stuff too. You're not the only ones. I see it all too. I see a lot of it, and I hear about a lot of it because of what I do for a living. But my instincts were telling me you need to remove that tumor. I removed the tumor. I have no regrets about removing that tumor. I trusted my gut instinct. You know the thing I have regrets about? Doing radiation. And again, I'm not saying I'm anti-radiation, but for me, and at the time period when they were doing the radiation, it wasn't really the best choice for me. I didn't trust my gut instinct. My gut was telling me no. I was following a practitioner that told me that it was okay, and I did it, and there's part of me that wishes that I hadn't. Now, I don't have a crystal ball to know if it saved me from getting cancer again or didn't. I will never know that. But the long-term side effects from it, and I don't know what I know now about helping the body heal right after radiation. So therefore my long-term side effects lasted a long time. Now I know how to help my clients through that process. So it becomes less dangerous, and plus radiation is much different than it was 7 years ago when I was going through it. It's more direct and more dialed in than it ever has been ever. And so, but you need to learn to trust your gut. If your gut is screaming no at you, no, you need to listen to it. You can't let fear control that. You need to learn to trust. You need to learn to trust your gut. You need to form a trust with your doctor. If you don't trust your doctor, you better get a new doctor. Bottom line, if you don't trust your cancer coach, you better get a new cancer coach. I'm saying that from a cancer coach perspective. If you don't trust your nutritionist, you should get a nutritionist. You have to form trust. You have to rely. That's the only way that you find hope, is through trusting through other people's abilities to help you through this process. You must have that. It must be present. If you live in the mindset that everyone's out to get you, that they know if you're cured for cancer, but they're not telling you, that your doctor's trying to kill you with chemo, that, all these things that are going on, it's like wildfire out there right now. People, putting these notions into other people's minds with very flimsy, cherry-picked information. Even medical and holistic, both. I mean, it's scary, actually. And that's why trusting your gut becomes so important. Learning to respond to that and lean into that wisdom, into that energy center in your body. But if you are always undermining your process with these trust issues and with these conspiracies and with this anger and this fear and this hopelessness, you're going to have a hard time healing. And you're never going to fully heal your life. And I'm not talking about just healing cancer. I'm talking about healing your entire life. Cancer becomes a blessing because it gives you an opportunity to heal your life. Gives you perspective that you need to do that work, where otherwise you may be tempted to just put that work on the back burner all the time, right? Cancer gives you perspective that like nothing else in this world, and it's amazing if you allow it. So there you go. 4 shifts I want you to think about is to become a cancer boss, to focus on what you want to happen and not what you don't want to happen, to take some responsibility for your diagnosis and also some responsibility for your healing, and then learn to trust, including your own instincts and your own gut. Okay, guys, that is all I have for you tonight in the way of training. If you have any questions, you're welcome to type those in. Right now I'm looking up at my clock because my husband is hungry. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go back and look through the comments. I think they're mostly like, we don't have any sound. But I'm going to look back through the comments. If you have any questions, please type those in now. I'm going to put a link up for you to find me and to connect with me if you're interested in one-on-one cancer coaching for really amping up the cellular activity in the body for healing and helping it to work against cancer in a very holistic, real way. Remember that this is something that complements your treatments. It does not compromise them in any way whatsoever, just so you have that information. So if you're interested in talking to me about that, I do a free one-on-one call to establish if I can help you. First of all, ask a lot of questions. If you've ever been in that call, it's like, good Lord, I'm on an interview. But I do ask a lot of questions, and also establishing if there's something I can do to help you, and then telling you about that opportunity. So if that interests you, you can reach out in direct messages, or I'll leave a link here for you to book that call right from this website. So, or from this live broadcast. All right. So, any questions? I don't think I see any that have popped up. Right. Yeah, so Rosette has said, yeah, it drives me crazy about surgery being spread. Yeah, I mean, there is, there is a lot of information floating. And this is, again, if you trust your gut instincts and do what's best for you, you'll never question that. You'll never question about, whether this was the right decision for you or not. But yes, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are spreading a lot of fear and making a lot of money from that fear, with this type of information. And so a lot of people like to think that these people are working out of the goodness of their heart, but not necessarily. So, again, I'm not going to name names, but yes. Okay, let's see. I don't think I saw any more questions in here. Those were all from the sound issues that we have. I stopped Googling around. That's funny, Rosette. Stop Googling around. I love that. Oh, thank you, Anne-Marie. I love you too so very much. So very much. Yeah. Oh, I love you too, Rosette. You're so sweet. Oh, look at this. I love this. Love this. Love being the boss. You are an amazing boss, Babette. Oh my gosh, you guys, I want to share Babette's story so badly. She's just so friggin' amazing cancer boss, like total boss lady. Love it. You're welcome, Diane. Thank you for being here. It's good to have you here. You're welcome, Judith. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. It's good to have you. You're very welcome. All right, guys. I'm going to split out of here, go make myself, my husband and I something to eat. This is very late for us to eat, but I have been super busy on the phone all day today, so haven't had a chance. Usually we eat dinner before, but not tonight. So love you too, Sherry. Love you. All right. Let's see. Oh, Melody, me too. Me too. All right, you guys, have a great evening. I will see you next Tuesday. I don't know what the subject is going to be next Tuesday. I'm toying with the idea of talking about the microwave because it's probably like the number 5 question I get is a microwave safe to use. People just DM me and send me requests. Thinking about talking about microwave use. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I just have to go with what inspires. Sometimes it's from a conversation that I've had with a client or a lot of questions that I'm getting. So you never know what we're going to teach you. But thank you guys for hanging out and being here during that stinking technical problem. I appreciate your patience with that. I have no idea what I did. Who knows? Not a tech person. Hashtag not a tech person. All right. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody. Good night. Good night. Love you, Jennifer. Bye.